Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the final pieces of news that have come out in the last week for Tokusatsu. There's definitely been a lot that's been coming out. I took a look at the new Power Rangers Beast Morpher toys, then I took a look at the Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger news, and today I'm going to take a look at Ryusoulger again and Kamen Rider Geo. Specifically, the new scans for the new toys and items are going to be coming out in the next few months for both series. I'm going to start off with Kamen Rider Geo, and actually, before we get into that, I just want to warn you guys that obviously this will be filled with spoilers for both series because, you know, toys are spoilers in the world of Tokusatsu. So now, let's get right into it with Kamen Rider Geo. And the big one of this is we get Kamen Rider Grand Geo. Kamen Rider Geo's final form. We don't get the best look at it, but I mean, we do get a decent look at it, and I have to say this suit is completely ridiculous. I've seen everyone say it's stupid, it's terrible, it's crazy, it's dumb, and I agree with all of these statements, but I have to say I love it. I mean, it's probably due to the fact that it's a gold form, and I have an affinity for gold forms that I realized with Muteki and Oma Geo, but I do like this suit, kind of, from what we can see. I do think the statues are a bit crazy, but I kind of like the idea of having all the past Kamen Riders on him. And it's definitely a different idea than if you just had a bunch of ride watches on him, which is what I was personally expecting, so this is cool. The one cool thing is that this is like a purified version of Oma Geo, kind of, seemingly seems like that, because it is gold, like Oma Geo, but it doesn't look as evil or malicious as that said Oma Geo suit. So this would probably be what represents Sogo, like, fully rejecting the path of Oma Geo that he seems to be projected to take. So I assume with this final form, there's like no doubt about it, he will not become Oma Geo. He has taken a different path. He is his own king, which is probably why this suit looks different to Oma Geo, but is like not completely Oma Geo. Because along with that, we get the Grand Geo Ride Watch, which is, once again, a crazy, stupid, ridiculous ride watch, and I also love this ride watch. I especially love in the Jiku driver, it opens up, and you've got the faces of every Kamen Rider on that. Like, this is definitely the suit to end the Heisei era on, representing every Heisei Kamen Rider, everything about them. It's just really awesome, and it's just really cool that this is our final form of the Heisei era. It definitely seems like that. So, obviously, Grand Geo is not the only form that was revealed in the catalog scans. We also got two minor forms, I guess. We have Kamen Rider Geo Trinity form and Kamen Rider Waz Ginga form, which you can see with this image here. You got both of them. They also both have their own individual images. I'll come back to this image in a second because there is some stuff to talk about with this. So, let's focus on Geo Trinity. Geo Trinity looks cool-ish, I guess. I do like the idea of combining all three of the Kamen Riders of the show together. This confirms we're not getting a fourth rider, so only 3 riders in this show, if you don't count Oma Geo. I think it's cool, it lets it feel more central, localized. I think this ride watch looks cool. I think the helmet, most of this looks cool. I like the gold and black. Just my one problem is the faces. Actually, the faces on the shoulders, you can see his shoulders is the Gates face and the Waz face. My biggest problem is just his chest. It's the Geo face. That just looks really stupid. It's kind of like the Psycho grade, which also looks really stupid with Geo's face. I don't like the Geo face on the chest. I think it looks dumb. But the ride watch we can also see here looks like it's just a crazy big bulked out ride watch, which is, I guess, cool. Probably I'm not going to be getting this, but the one thing I do like about it is that it seems to have a big panel that flips open and covers the screen of the Jiku driver, which separates this one from all the other ride watches. The Decade ride watch has its own ride watch attachment. Geo 2 ride watches cover up both sides of the Jiku driver. This one covers up the front of the Jiku driver. So that's pretty cool. And it seems like this might combine all 3 riders' minds into one, because in the other image we see all 3 of them in some kind of throne room. I'm not sure what this is really saying, but there seems to be something going on with like all 3 riders in the one mind. So we also get our look at Waz Ginga. Yeah, Waz Ginga. So this is the final form for Kamen Rider Waz, I assume. it is another Future Rider, which is interesting. I didn't really expect him to pull out another Future Rider. This Future Rider is Kamen Rider Ginga, and I saw somewhere that this is a future anniversary for Kamen Rider. I'm not sure if that's true. I haven't found anywhere else that says that, but it is definitely a Future Rider. I assume this is probably like forever in the future. Like, we've gotten to 2022, 2040. Kikai is 2021 or 2121, which is the farthest ahead so far. So I wonder if Ginga is like from the year 3000 or something. Probably just like he's so far in the future. Maybe. This ride watch actually does look pretty cool. Works in the Beyond Driver, of course, because Kamen Rider was. And it looks like it will have some sort of like screen display going on, which I think is pretty cool. And it seems this screen display will play into the fact that Waz Ginga actually has a few different forms. I can't really see what most of these are, but there's like the normal one, there's like a blue one, and there's like some kind of yellow or red one. So I like the idea behind this, and I like the idea with the different forms. The suit itself also looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it in action. So those are the 3 forms that we were shown. We also get to see some figures, and we got to see some of the silhouettes. We get a better look at Kamen Rider Geo in his Trinity form. Not a better look, but a kind of more broader look. And we also get to see Kamen Rider Geo in his Grand Geo form. And I mean, I like this suit even more. I mean, we don't really get entirely a good look at it here, but it's not some kind of big clunky thing. It's actually very angular and very stylized. Not stylized, very simplistic. From this look, obviously it's going to be complicated with all the rider statues in it, but just from here, the silhouette looks very simple. So I do like it. And it's also very similar to Kamen Rider Muteki, which is my favorite suit of all time. So, you know, very, very clever, Geo. You're just gonna, you know, make it look like Muteki, and thomasjujube will like it. Very clever. I do have a problem with this. I want to point out, I don't like the white face. They should have made it gold, or hopefully it's gonna be some kind of silver, because the white really stands out amongst all the gold. And at the bottom, we get some looks at the Rider Kicks figures that are gonna be coming up. We got Evil Black Hole, Genmu, Brave, Decade, Cross Charge, and Snipe. I haven't really been keeping up with the Rider Kicks figures. If you like any of these characters, you should probably pick one of them up, since the Kicks figures are pretty good. I do like that they're putting in Decade, because he's Decade. This is anniversary season. But I am, not as a collector, because I'm not really going to I haven't been picking up any of the Rider Kicks figures, except like one. But I am a little disappointed for collectors that these are just, the Rider Kicks figures has just been repeats of the Build and X-Day line. I think it would have been cooler if they went all the way back to Kuga and redid every main Heisei Rider ever, so you could have some display of like Grand Geo and like all the Heisei Riders behind him. That would have been cool, but looks like that won't happen. So that's it for the Geo scans. Definitely looking forward to this stuff coming out. All this comes out, I think, throughout like March to June or July. The one thing I like to point out is that Grand Geo comes out in June or July, which confirms Geo is running to summer and isn't ending in April when the Heisei era ends like most people thought. But I wonder if they'll do some kind of big, the Heisei era is over in that kind of time slot when the Heisei era actually ends in real life. So now, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Ryusoulger leaks, where we get our look at the 6th Ranger Ryusoul Gold. Now, first off, I just want to say I'm a bit disappointed that we're getting another Gold Ranger, mostly just because Kishiryu had its own Gold Ranger as well, so I know people are going to be, you know, everyone who's trying to say this is Kishiryu, they just got more evidence that this is like Kishiryu, although it does look like it's going to be very different from Kishiryu, so story-wise, you can't really say it's the same. So, but I do like the look of this suit, from what we can see of it. I like the gold and navy blue, I believe. Really contrast this suit from the other Ryusoulgers. We also got at the top the Moza Changer. I can't really remember the name of all of these, but I think this is the Moza Changer at the top in its Spinosaurus mode. So he has Moza, like a Mosasaurus mode, and he has like Spino Thunder mode. And every time I see Spino Thunder, it just makes me think of Dino Thunder from Power Rangers. So that might be a reference, but probably not. So he uses his own Kishiryu, or Ryusoul, my bad. He uses his own Ryusoul in his own Morpher, to turn into his, normal morph form, where you can see at the bottom the fins of the morpher are actually down. But then when he uses the Spino Thunder Ryusoul, I think it's a Q or Kyo Ryusoul, Cho Ryusoul, one of those two. He uses that, and that turns the morpher into like a Spinosaurus mode, which then gives him this awesome looking armored form. That looks really, really cool, and I can't wait to see that in action, because that looks really cool. The one other thing we get for Ryusoul, for Ryu Gold, is his Moza Blade. If you couldn't tell, he's based off of a Mosasaurus, which is cool. Actually, it's probably not. I think it's actually a Moza Rex, it's called, because we're really kind of making these fake dinosaurs. But obviously, he's based off a real-life Mosasaurus, the in-universe Moza Rex, I assume. So the Moza Blade can combine with his weapon, the Moza Changer, so we get the Moza Breaker, which is a ridiculous looking weapon, but I think it's pretty cool. Then we get a look at the Dimetrodon Zorg Kishiryu. I can't remember the name of this thing, but this thing looks pretty cool, and it combines with the Megazord in what seems to be a cool combination. We can't really make it out too well. I just really like the fact that Ryusoulger isn't using the dumb, let's just swap out the arms and call that a new combination. We are going back to Sentai's roots of, and Power Rangers' roots, of having like the things split apart and combine. Looks like the Ryusoulger mechs are going to look really, really cool. At the time of this recording, they actually aren't out yet, so we don't even have the actual toys out yet, and we already know what's coming out in a few months. So this thing looks pretty cool. I think this belongs to Ryusoul Gold, but the Kishiryu, or not, I keep saying Kishiryu, the Ryusoul will actually be able to be used by Ryusoul Red, and that will give him this power-up, which looks similar to the one for Ryusoul Gold. So probably we'll get some fight scenes with the two of those armors, which is going to look really cool. I really like the look of the Ryusoul Red armor as well. And at the end of this, we get some more Ryusouls. Nothing much here. I don't know what any of these are, but one thing I just like to point out is that you can see an image of Ryusoul Red with one of these as armor. So hopefully we'll get most of these Ryusouls creating more armor for the Rangers, and I think that will be cool, as the gimmicks kind of just are pointless in Sentai. So if they're not attached to a Zord, of course. So that's it for the Ryusoulger stuff. Not really as big as Kamen Rider, but that's mostly just due to Kamen Rider's reveals being the final form of the Heisei era. But the Ryusoul Gold is very cool. I'm looking forward to see him in action, see his debut, see all this stuff come out. And I'm definitely looking forward to those armored forms, because those look really cool. So let me know what you thought of all of these leaks, all of these scans down in the comments. What do you think will happen with all of these in the shows to come? And if you haven't already, please consider hitting that big fat subscribe button to stay up to date with all the new tokusatsu news, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching.